Qualifiers' turn to pick.
Of course, has the Winter's Curse available to turn around a team fight. Like, overall, just with these 4 picks already from Secret, they just look a lot more strong.
They definitely do, right? As you mentioned, the teamfight potential for Aachen is really not quite there. You do have the Venomancer, who does pump out a lot of magic damage early on.
Seconds.
The Wraith King as well, who can do a lot of single target damage. The issue is, again, all their control is single target. Your best team fighter is probably the Brewmaster with all the disruptive spells he has, but all of those are also single targets, so there's no way for you to get a group of people under control fast, which means I expect Aachen to really try to look for those single target pickoffs. If they're going to go for the team fights, make sure the Oracle at least roots a couple of people, so you do have some control, but I do kind of worry. We do see a lot of these games devolve constant team fights into a tower, and when it does come down to that 5v5, Aachen just doesn't have control.
Well, they bring up the niche special here with the Arc Warden from Team Secret, so again, I mean, they already had such a good team fight capability with the 4 heroes they picked up, but now with Niche on that Arc Warden, I mean, he doesn't even need to be there. Like, he can just split push the whole time while the rest of Secret keep the side of Aachen City busy. Overall, as we talked about, Aachen City, they could pull off a massive upset here. Judging by the draft, though, doesn't really look that way yet. So of course, we do have to wait it. We get into the game to see how they really do plan to pull all this off. Should be a fun match nonetheless, though.
Definitely is. You know, it's always explosive when you have something like the Wraith King. When you have the Arc Warden as well, that laning phase can be a bit funky. Just, you know, that mid matchup tends to be back and forth. So I'm looking forward to how this one unfolds. I do expect Aachen to really try to push that early aggression. Right? They have heroes that do have massive spikes in the early to mid game, and I definitely think that they don't want to take this late, especially against Nisha's Arc Warden. It's just a really annoying hero to deal with later on, and I don't think Aachen has the best tools to keep that hero in control. You know, on top of the fact that Team Secret does have that superior 5v5 and push.
Let's see how it all turns out. LeBron be on the front. This intro screen for his team. Nisha do the same for the side of Secret. Posting. 10 wins on Arc Warden. Very nice indeed. Get into it. Overall, before we really start the game, with this draft that Aachen City has, what do you feel like they really need to get done throughout any stage of the game to ensure they don't let Secret just take complete control?
I think they're going to have to be hunting around a lot. They're going to have to find opportunities where Secret is roaming alone, like one of their members out alone, whether it be a support or a core, you take that kill. So when that 5v5 does break out, they have a numbers disadvantage. Then you try to take objectives. You're going to have to do this all the time. You don't want to take a direct 5v5 against Secret because, again, they have all the tools they want in the team fight. They have that Shaker, they have the Winter Wyvern, they have the Monkey King, they have the Arc Warden even. Whereas you really just have strong single target control. And they will keep that aggression up right now. They smoke up fairly fast, going on the hunt, but no one's up there up top.
Yeah, Yapsor actually just avoiding that smoke. Was up in that area, but fortunately for Aachen, quite get there in time. At the very least, they will probably be able to just secure themselves top bounty runes. Though Zai does move in, does break the smoke, and well, wants to get the hell out of there immediately, though they do have the Fortune's End. Yapsor has the Fissure to block, even if they want to engage, so it looks like they will just back off happily. Unless Yapsor plans to somehow swipe that bounty, it will be a 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah, and again, both sides shouldn't be too unhappy. I think if you are Aachen Esports, you will feel a bit pressured. Again, they just want these gank trains to keep going, and wasting your first smoke like that to not really find anything is a bit of a waste. This lineup does have to get that early game momentum going and ensure themselves a pretty good spot to be in before all these level 6s start coming out from Secret.
Ooh. I love the fact that these heroes are just blocking each other's creeps rather than their own. Does look like Secret almost win out in the creep equilibrium war, though. Bron does get it his way in the end. Still, Radiant creep wave probably gonna eventually push out because of that T1 actually hitting up on the dire creeps just a bit. Bunny will join in down at the bot lane as well. Meanwhile, mid lane, Nisha is going to be on that Arc Warden, of course, up against DM on that Venomancer. Overall, I don't really see Nisha getting shot down in this mid lane at all.
It's really down to how the Venomancer skills up. If he goes for a Plague Ward-centric build, I don't think you're going to see Nisha feel pressure at all. If you do go for Venomous Gale, the potential is there. Like, that's a lot of damage early on. Arc Warden isn't the tankiest core. He's not the squishiest either, but the damage coming out from a Venomancer who does build up on Gale is massive. You will have to expend a support, though. They will have to come down to ensure that kill, but you have ways as the Venomancer here to kind of find that momentum. It does look like he will kind of focus up on the wards though, so it is just going to be a farm exchange here down mid.
Top lane, there was almost 2 instances of Aachen City heroes dying. In fact, Ignat, maybe South cancelled off, but did heal up most of the way. V-Tune almost falling very low as well, but the Fortune's End did hold the side of Secret back, getting that final damage off that they needed. Still, certainly not the best lane in the world here for the Radiant, but at the very least, V-Tune is ahead in farm. I mean, as it stands as well, looks like LeBron will find a first blood onto Puppy down a bot lane, but I was about to point out the fact that Zai is playing a call with the Wyvern. They're going to have a go again at V-Tune here on the Wraith King, and he will be able to back himself up safely. V-Tune almost going down again. The Splinter Blast just not enough in the end, but overall, what is the point of this Core Winter Wyvern?
It's been a while since I've seen this, of course. I mean, it farms out great in the laning phase. Splinter Blast just clears out waves quite nicely, applies a good amount of harass as well. The Winter Wyvern does have pretty good range every time you pop that Arctic Burn, and she can get decent damage out with pretty smooth attack animations if you scale up properly. The issue is, of course, securing that farm. Hero just doesn't have great mobility and doesn't really have the greatest sustained damage, and they are going though.
Yeah, Bishop will be there. V-Tune just trying to get out though. Ignat doesn't really have a chance. Puppy with the rotation on the Nature's Prophet, and now Zai will end up finding V-Tune on the Wraith King, and the Splinter Blast will get the job done. 2 heroes going down, and we talked about it in the draft, but this is why these Prophets are so strong. Meanwhile, Mid-One playing around with his life there down a bot lane, almost falling, but does turn around for the Jingu Mastery and Bound the Strike proc. Does manage to survive in the end. In fact, he finds a regen.
Grabs himself. Yeah, that's a great tool for him. He just gets to get back in lane, start last hitting again. Has a full mana pool, full HP pool, whereas Aachen did expend quite a fair bit in trying to secure that kill, so he does have some room to play around with here, with that nice, lucky rune spawn for him.
Well, back to this mid lane as well. Nisha just at the top of the last hits board right now, really not being contested at all. The gonna have a bit of trouble here with the flux being put on him by Nisha. Just spamming out the Plague Wards, trying to farm that way, but I mean, again, I do get very concerned here for the side of Aachen when you can't shut down this Arc Warden. He's going to be able to rush a Midas pretty darn fast.
Yeah, and it's going to be an issue. Arc Wardens we have seen do tend to snowball quite fast if they can hit their item timings. I mean, Nisha's already going to hit 6 in a fairly short time, and it just feels like DM has not applied pressure. When you go this kind of build on Venom, you really don't apply too much pressure anyway. It's really much more farm-centric. It does allow him to drop a ward, clear out a large camp over time, while he's also clearing out those lane creeps. But again, it just doesn't apply pressure onto Nisha, which means Nisha will find his item timings. He's going to find his Midas soon. He's going to find his Temples double up online quite fast, and the farm just escalates for Arc Warden.
LeBron gets sniped by Mid-One on the Monkey King. Does manage to get the bounty rune at the very least for his team, but it's a 2v2 in the end anyway, and Mid-One with that Boundless Strike just connecting after the Sprout was about to wear off. V-Tune up at the top lane right now on the Wraith King, still doing a pretty darn good job considering the lane he's been in has been rather tough. Zai and Yapsaw being very annoying on the Earthshaker and the Winter Wyvern. The bot lane Mid-One will end up losing his life. LeBron does get some sweet revenge on that Brewmaster. Puppy, there really wasn't much he could do on that Nature's Prophet to help.
Yeah, and again, that's a pretty I mean, it's a nice pick off to get. It's still fairly even if the trade. You did die once, you take that Monkey King out again. The issue is that it does leave Aachen locking in their supports down here at bot lane. I mean, you do want to see all of these rotations coming out from the heroes to really stack up that single target control, but when you commit on one lane, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, no way to get out of this. The Wraith is going to follow. Demon's trying to survive with the Tango and the Fairy Fires, but it's not going to work out. Yapsor with a great rotation on the Earthshaker will ensure the M gets disabled just enough. Nisha to get the job done. That'll make it a 2 to 4, 6.5 minutes in. But more importantly, that net worth is really going to start swinging the way of the Dire. So bot lane, it looks like mid one. Going to get jumped on again. There will be a rotation coming out from the Absol at the very least. He gets a Fisher off onto Funnick, but Funnick will be alright. He'll be out of range for mid one to actually go in and pursue that kill.
Again, they really are trying to get as much, you know, suppression onto mid one as possible. Now, Monkey Kings can farm up okay. They have slowed down mid one's farm by a fair bit, but I feel like the biggest issue here is, again, just going back to that mid lane, Nisha. They've given this guy everything he wants. Right now, DM has transitioned towards that jungle, which is fairly easy to do as the Venomancer with, you know, wards as your primary build. But they just haven't played the slowdown game on this Arc Warden, and their side lanes haven't won strongly enough to really make up for that, I feel. So we do have to watch out and see how much momentum they will carry into the mid game.
Yep, so setting up on Ignite right now. There's a Fortune's End coming out, but it won't matter. Now mid one may make a chase onto V-Tune, but looks like they will allow him to go down. Just being satisfied with the Oracle kill. Mid one will take the place of Zaya in this top lane, so he wants to be able to secure some farm up on the Monkey King. Looks like Zaya just went straight back to the fountain though. Puppy was in trouble bot lane. Nisha will TP in a Remnant to try and help out. In fact, he might just find a kill out of this because LeBron is falling rather low. Wraith Fire Blast will be there and the Wraith will follow Funnick instead. The TP from Puppy not being completed quite yet. And looks like that'll be it. Both heroes on the side of Aachen very, very low down at the bot lane, but just not being finished off here.
That's a good try coming out from Secret, but not quite enough. I think the one thing that is working out for Aachen right now is that Funnick is pretty farmed up on this Venge. They have really sacrificed LeBron on this Brewmaster for that, but Funnick is actually level 6, so he does have a bit more control in that swap.
Denied.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's like V-Tune gonna be going for a Midas build on the Wraith King, which does feel pretty standard these days on these Wraith Kings.
Bottom tower needs a hand.
Also be some TP rotations here from LeBron and Funnick. Smoke up, and the only person really there is Yapsor.
Bottom tower's still there.
But they may be able to find mid one, who's farming up in the jungle right now. Perhaps even just pursue the tier 1 top tower. Funnick will scout him out. Now the swap as well. Though no stun yet. The mischief dodge was not there from mid one. And this should be a death for him though. Yapsor does move back in and now Zai comes in as well. They're going to try and turn this one around. Mid one with the Boundless Strike. Now the Winter's Curse as well. Just really well played here by the side of Secret. Even Nisha joining in. He wants to go after LeBron and it looks like he might just even find him with the Wraiths and with the Flux, and they do eventually get the Brewmaster kill. He wasn't even close to level 6 yet for the Brewmaster split. Secret not losing mid one and find himself a core pickoff.
They almost find Funnick up top as well. Yapsor is not giving up in this chase. You might actually see him.
And he knows he's around somewhere. In fact, there's the pings. He did spot him out for a second. Funnick now just trying to get himself out of here safely. He does have a TP, but he knows as soon as he uses it, he's going to get stunned up. The Fisher is there, though. Nice swap from Funnick, but it looks like mid one will come in to clean up the job. Magic Missile will come out, but it won't help the cause. Mid one will get rid of him with the Boundless Strike.
Yeah, again, just clean pickups coming out for Secret. Even when Aachen does commit hard like that, they just don't manage to dish out the damage yet, and that's really down to how they vitamize and how they decided to go with their lanes. Just no damage you can expect really to come out when you have a Wraith King who's going for the Midas. Sure, it makes sense, it gives you your EXP which you want. Wraith King doesn't really flash farm too well. He does have great jungling with that, with the creeps that he summons, but he needs a catch mechanic for sure.
Mid one, tries to dodge the stun, but won't be successful in doing so. The YapzOr, nice Fisher, but the split is there anyway in mid one. He gets rooted in place. He's still making a run for it, but he has no hope of getting out. Now Nisha, he's another massive kill here for the side of Aachen if he can find it. So Nisha still surviving. YapzOr has no way to really help out right now. In fact, he'll go in with the enchant totem, gets rid of Phonic. Now LeBron, he wants to get the hell out as well. Nisha somehow surviving throughout all this, so they've got to get rid of that Vengeful Spirit illusion, and it looks like they should be able to in time. So LeBron, he came back in trying to go for the kill. He will lose his life in the process and will not get it anyway.
I mean, that's a really good takeout on mid one. The issue is you bleed so much back just to try to get Nisha. Not the easiest target. That's really down to Zai managing to teleport in right in time. Managing to, again, keep Nisha up alive long enough and manage to get that nice turn, get the kills they want, and back off. So overall, that's a trade that I feel Secret should be very happy with once again. Sure, mid one is kind of slowing down by a fair bit. He's not looking great in terms of net worth right now. But at the same time, you are giving Nisha everything he wants. And when this Arc Warden is coming online, and it feels like he is actually quite online as is, I don't see Aachen having the tools to really keep this guy in control.
Beijun does go ahead and pick up the minus.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Expect his farm to start escalating. In fact, it looks like he's going to go the armlet into the Blink Dagger build. Very aggressive kind of build here on the Wraith King. There might be a play up in Zai here at the top lane. So that Wraith does actually spot out at Null, though they will be able to get the swap off anyway. Zai won't be able to survive this in time. Nice little pick there from the side of Aachen City. And with that, they'll probably just go ahead and pursue that tier 1 tower as well.
Tower is under attack.
Should be a fairly straightforward tower to take. I don't think Secret will mind using that tier 1 at this point. I mean, all they have is really Zai, who just comes into farm there, but this is going to be a good tower pick off for Aachen. Not the biggest loss for Secret, but that is some gold going their way, and that should help the cause just a bit. I really want to start seeing DM be a bit more active. He does have the Midas as well, which really just means that Aachen is going for the slow game here, just trying to find some farm to go into that mid game, which means we're not going to see too much aggression going into that phase just yet.
There with the Venomous Gale, but he'll be able to survive. He may lose the Oracle though. Can he survive? Winter's Curse will be thrown out just to make sure he can't, but with the rotation there of the Wraith King, it's going to be enough to make them back off, and now the Brewmaster split comes out as well. Straight onto Zai on that Winter Wyvern, a nice vision from YapzOr. Now the Cold Embrace, it won't delay things long enough. Meanwhile, the Storm Spirit's still making the chase and does find Nisha on the Arc Warden. It doesn't look like they're actually going to follow up on that though. They do go after the mid-tier 1 tower. Team Secret. I mean, that curse, perhaps just a bit greedy there from Zai. Though to be fair, he did buy space for that tier 1 bot tower to go down. But still, they might lose their tier 1 mid tower in the process. Nisha, he's going to be there to defend. They go straight after Beach, with those raids, their Fate's Edict will basically dodge a lot of that magic damage coming out. And with that, they do protect the mid-tier 1 tower on the side of Secret, but essentially Aachen City do the exact same thing.
Yeah, and again, that's a fairly even trade in terms of resources committed so far. I mean, you're not going to be too unhappy about the Zai loss anymore. He certainly is just there to try out the spells he wants, and once that's gone, you really don't mind too much. I'm rather surprised Secret is not forcing the issue with that tier 1 down mid. I think that's going to be an important piece of control to take away. While it's standing, you just have DM feeling quite free to farm his Ancients up, and in fact that entire jungle just feeling a bit too safe for Aachen, so pressure from Secret not quite there yet, as long as that tier 1 is standing.
Let's go for me.
Battalions spawning up. Looks like YapzOr was able to snag 2 more for his team, so a 3-for-1 trade on those bounties. While mid lane still being pushed in by the Remnant of Nisha. LeBron trying to do his best to defend, but he almost dies just to the Remnant. In fact, he might if he's not careful. The raids are there. LeBron, he walks in. The Nature's Prophet ultimate comes out. Puppey helps out with that mid kill. Now in the mid lane, they also find an Oracle, but he's on the wrong side of the Fisher. Nevertheless, Nisha just trying to push in that tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, mid 1 got a bit too greedy there and does get swapped back in, but he has the Wukong's command. There's no follow-up DPS here from Aachen City to actually take him out. So Secret just continuing to pursue that tier 1 mid. Puppy now shows up as well, and it does just go down, though Aachen look like they want to actually engage here, but perhaps hesitating a bit too much. Once they see the tier 1 go down, they think better of it.
Yeah, and again, at the very least, Secret does manage to secure that pivotal piece of map control. I think I would have liked to see a bit more vision coming out to really monitor the jungles. Puppy still has his 2 wards, but should be dropped fairly soon. They go back to farming, which is a fair call to make, really. It's Secret's in no rush to end this game. They've got pretty good scalability into that late game, whereas Aachen does feel like they have an upper limit just how long they can last, and they do smoke up, sensing a bit of pressure to get something done here.
Well, I suppose the Roshan will be a nice little steal from them if they can get it done, but Secret surely not going to be expecting this one. Yeah, I'm actually all chatting in the process, perhaps just trying to distract them a bit. And yeah, Secret, they just have no idea about this. No scans being thrown out, of course, it is just so early into the game. Really nice steal here from Aachen City. So the scan does come out in the end, but it is all too late. V-Tune now will go ahead and pick up the Aegis. That's going to mean 3 lives on the Wraith King. And with that, they do start setting up for that mid-tier 1 tower push.
Yeah, that should allow them to take this tower relatively quick. The HP is pretty low anyway, so it should be a straightforward push. We'll see how much Secret commits for the defense. They do have mid-1 standing there along with Nisha as well.
They've got to make a decision here on Aachen City as well, because Puppy's been pushing in that bot lane and does find the tier 2 tower. They still haven't gotten that tier 1 mid though on Aachen. And it looks like they're not planning to either. They're just, Nisha's presence is a bit too scary. They don't see Yapsor on the map. And Puppy successfully did finish off that tier 2 just with the Treants. And of course that Necromonicon book. So questionable there from the Radiant side, but again, this is Secret. They know how to play around it. When you have Puppy on that Prophet, it's always going to cost you to try and go for a push.
Definitely will. And Puppy is just split pushing quite well, of course. I mean, after that push down bot, he goes up top, try to apply some pressure there. And he's just all over this map, forcing Aachen to really respond to protect their objectives, which means that they really can't commit. Like, they just backed off of that mid-tier 1. That's a tier 1. That's still standing. They had the Aegis, they had all the things they want. And they don't go for it. It's rather strange, to say the least, but again, Secret is working this map quite well.
Well, they might have an opportunity to use it up at this top lane, though. Secret almost trying to bait them in with Puppy. It's like funny. Finally show himself up at the top lane, but Secret not going to force any kind of engagement here on the Venge. Like Puppy, again, going to be split pushing down that bot lane, just making them question their decision to even try pushing in that mid lane. And as it stands, if Puppy keeps doing this, he could literally just allow the Aegis to wear off. Because Aachen, if they keep hesitating to make that mid push, which it looks like they will have to do so, then it'll be a bit of a waste of an Aegis.
Definitely is, and again, Aachen just wants that early aggression, but they're just not finding the openings they want. They already have the blink on V-Tune as well, so he can jump in, start fights on his own terms. And even he's playing a bit too cautious here.
Well, he's going to go in now with the Skeletons, though they do get mostly cleared up here by mid-1 and the Yapsor. Nisha with the Remnant, going on to LeBron. Meanwhile, it looks like Puppy was in a bit of danger, but V-Tune, who's he going on? They go after the Remnant, and now the tier 1 tower, though Deny was not there. I thought mid-1 got it in time, but apparently not. V-Tune does manage to take the tier 1 by himself. They will immediately rotate out of that lane. So I say that V-Tune actually getting caught out here by the side of Secret. He does have 3 lives, don't forget. That's one of them. The Reincarnate is now down. That mid-1. Boundless Strike. Wukong's command, not quite yet. That was the Primal Spirit being thrown out. And Aachen not interested in this team fight. Pretty much every ultimate is available apart from Puppy's right now, so you can't blame them. But Puppy actually TPing in and then TPing straight out of there. Perhaps just changing his mind as to whether they pursue or not. Kind of midway through the TP.
Yeah, and again, they just... Yeah, at the very least, that Aegis does... No, not even Aegis expended. use that ultimate to take out that tier 1 and buy themselves a bit more space. I don't think this Aegis has any more left in it, though. It's probably going to be expiring fairly soon, which means that some caution should be in the mind of Aachen now. And they do have V-Tune on the opposite side of the map, just farming up. It looks like they will take it slow again.
Thought they may have found mid one in the jungle, though. Not, perhaps, maybe walk past him here. See him jumping in the tree line. But Nart might just be the target. Mid one was thinking about it, but there's plenty of Radiant heroes to help out.
Costly.
Looks like mid one will just wait patiently in the tree and see if he can find himself a victim. Nisha, though, still basically farming. No problems here for him. Has the double minus, of course. Has the Mjolnir already up with the boots of travel. Of course, the same can be said for DM on that Venomancer. He's doing a fantastic job himself. But is it going to be as useful? Well, middle on bot lane, going to go straight onto Ignato. False Promise being forced out immediately, and the Brewmaster split as well. Zai being chased down, but he'll be alright for the moment. Ignato, I can't say the same for him. He will lose his life, and now the curse will come out. It does land straight on that Venomancer, so they already found mid one on that Monkey King. Now they found Zai as well on the Winter Wyvern. He tries to go for the TP attempt, but that's going to be a double kill coming out from V-Tune. They didn't even use the Poison Nova throughout all that. It was just unnecessary. And the Aegis does just expire in V-Tune as well, so some great timing from them. It does allow Nisha to push in that top tier 1 tower, but you feel like Aachen would probably still be okay with this.
Definitely so. They find a big pick-off in mid 1. They take out Zai as well. They manage to, you know, get some control back in that jungle by getting those D-wards that they did plant while they were in that area. So they've got some control back in the bot lane, and they managed to, again, slow down that progression from mid 1. They only trade away their Oracle, which really isn't too big of a deal, right? He did manage to cast all his spells there as well, so you really don't mind. And that does give Aachen a bit more space to breathe in.
DM again, really just big in the farm. And look over the V-Tune as well, who doing a fantastic job on the Wraith King. Only problem is, you're going late game into an Arc Ward. I mean, we've seen this over and over again, and how much of a pest this Arc Water can be. Make matters worse, of course, Nisha is at the top of the net worth board, as expected on that Arc Water, so I don't know about this one. The Butterfly as well, going to be the next item pickup here for Nisha. And this really seems to be not a great way for them to scout out and catch Nisha no matter what.
It certainly feels like they just can't quite lock in that Arc Warden right now. They just haven't had the opportunity to catch him out. I mean, Nisha has been playing fairly conservatively, really, not taking any massive risks. And it has been paying off. He's found some very good farms so far. As you mentioned, he's working towards that Butterfly as well, and once that's up, his push potential just shoots up massively, his damage shoots up as well. You start to face issues in Aachen as well. I mean, right now it doesn't feel like they have the greatest burst anyway to kill him, but as this game goes on, he will get bigger and bigger, and I don't think you have the tools to really keep this guy in check.
To make matters worse for Aachen, Yapsor now has a full Aghanim Scepter up. So, didn't really have a way to initiate before, but now he definitely does. Of course, we've seen that Aghanim Scepter on these Earthshakers pay so much dividends. See how it does go for Yapsor, but of course he's a pretty fantastic before, so I'm sure things are going to go very well. Meanwhile, mid lane, LeBron will say hello to Zai. Looks like V-Tune is just completely set on this Wraith King to try and finish off that BKB before they try to go for any further team fights. Top lane, mid one. Gonna run into V-Tune here. Of course, the banner about to spawn up. So Yapsor is also there and ready with the Fisher. And everybody just kind of dancing around it right now. The mid one will run in and grab it. Now DM going to be the target of Nisha's Remnant. No follow-up here from Secret. It looks like they were just happy picking that up. And you look at bot lane again. Look what Puppy's doing. He just continues to push this out and just punishing the side of Aachen for even thinking about going for that bounty rune. Though they are looping around here on Funix, so they're trying to cut Puppy off. He doesn't have the TP available yet, and he was trying to run into a tree line that doesn't exist. V-Tune is going to be there as well. They get the stun off, and that'll be a very easy kill. 900 crit coming out from V-Tune to get the job done. Meanwhile, mid lane, however, mid one, you're gonna jumping in. In fact, he just started by himself with the Wukong's come out. Now Yapsor jumps in with the Echo. The False Promise was there on the Brewmaster, and he does survive long enough to get the Brewmaster split off. Now they got the Cyclone off onto the Earthshaker as well. It looks like Nisha, though, did manage to find Ignite from the backlines, and now Beechun jumping in after Yapsor. Meanwhile, bot lane, Puppey again just split pushing while all this is happening. Yapsor just buying time, and now the Winter's Curse as well. That Wraith King copying a lot of damage. Puppey is still going at the bot lane. He'll finally TP out of there, but he's left all his units behind to make sure they can get as much damage out as they can. And in the end, a buyback being forced out for Aachen, as well as losing almost that tier 3 tower. Just about 350 HP left on it. In fact, I say that Nisha, he'll just jump in and get the job done with his remnant. They are going to lose this tier 3. That is a big loss for Aachen 26 minutes in.
It definitely is, right? And again, that's the power of Secret's draft, just a split push that comes out. In fact, the damage coming out from Nisha right now, even on his double, just really dropping DM low quite fast. Have to be careful in that defense, but that's the issue. They can play 4v5, Puppey just pushes, and on top of that, even after the fight breaks out, Nisha can send him his double to add some more damage as well.
Smoke broke.
And there's just no good way of responding.
Puppey is being chased down. Does have the Lotus Orb. Yapsor is there in the invis anyway. Aachen City, I mean, look, they just tried to go for a quick smoke and perhaps pick off Puppey. Get that off their mind for a minute, but couldn't even find that, unfortunately. Secret, again, you look at that top lane. Nisha, he's pushing up the tier 2 tower. That's going to be the second outer tower left on the map here for the side of Aachen. And Puppey, he'll replace the Remnant. Meanwhile, mid one, apparently just finding LeBron Dota. The mid lane just alone. Puppey will secure that tier 2 and the Roshan as well. Has now been started by Team C.
Yeah, I mean, there are ways of responding if you are Aachen, but right now, without your Brewmaster, you're not really going to be going for this. They do buy back, so it looks like they want to contest.
Well, it's only the Remnant left in the Roshan pit. The rest of the Secret just ready to engage outside of the pit first. The tier 3 at top lane, under siege here by the creeps. But as Puppey, do you even bother sticking around? It's almost like you just go back up to the top lane, though. No, they jump in mid one. He sets up with the Boundless. False Promise is there from Ignat, though Winter's Curse will be put straight onto Funnick on that Vengeful Spirit. And now Yapsor jumps in, has the Echo Slam, connects on absolutely everybody. In fact, Beechun jumped into it himself. There's a lot of heroes getting cleared out, but the buybacks are there from Aachen. So can they burst down this Monkey King at least? The Qualifiers will be there mid one. He'll survive, and Nisha will find a kill onto Beechun. They finally get the monkey, but is it even gonna matter? They'll get Yapsor as well. Secret, looks like they'll probably be okay with this. They forced out a couple buybacks, they get a couple kills, and they'll back off to safety again.
Yeah, again, that does give them a bit more to work with now that those buybacks have been expended. Next time they do get a push going, and you know, it doesn't take long for that to happen with Puppey, they're not gonna have that option for defense.
Nisha, again in that mid lane, just pushing in with the Remnant, and there's not much you can do about it. LeBron at least getting the deny off onto the tier 2, but at this point, Secret probably not going to care too much. They've already got an 8k net worth lead in this game anyway. That'll make it 11 to 16 now, 29 minutes of this game. And again, I asked the question, how do you shut down this Arc Warden if you're on the side of Aachen?
You've definitely kind of missed a window where you could have comfortably left Nisha alone. I mean, you know, comfortably shut down Nisha. At this point, he's way too big. You're gonna have to really throw everything you have at him. At the very least, you could do that because Nisha has not gone for any sort of defensive item. No BKB up yet, no Force Staff, no nothing. So if you do get the jump on him, you can burst him down with every single hero. You do have to throw quite a fair bit for that. But
they found Puppey up the top lane, though. Zai is there with the Curse ready to go. Now the Fisher as well. Curse will be thrown out. Mid one with the Boundless and jumps in as well. And with that, it looks like Aachen are going to lose a lot more than they intended to lose. DM trying to get out of there safely. Funnick will glimmercape himself up, but he's lost DM already on that Venomancer. Funnick going for the sneaky TP play, and it looks like he will make it out in time. But what does it matter? You lost that core Veno. Like Secret, going after LeBron. Boundless strike from mid one will stop the TP as well. The Brewmaster split will be forced out just to allow LeBron to get out of there safely. The Secret, they can just take a Roshan now.
Yeah, I mean, it's scouted out by the Panda, but it should be a fairly quick take that doesn't really matter in the end. So Secret will be able to take this out, and again, having LeBron expend that split just to get himself out of there means it's not going to be up for the defense fight.
With that, Aegis and Cheese going the way of Nisha now. Daedalus as well being finished up on this Arc Warden. Man's basically almost 6-slotted. Be going for that Satanic next. Aachen bring up the buyback status. And in fact, the only person that has buyback right now is going to be V-Tune on that Wraith King. LeBron does get stunned up by the Fisher, but will be out of range for them to engage. And now Nisha wins swapped in, and this is the path they wanted. But Winter's Curse immediately comes out. Now the Wukong's command as well from mid one. This looks really bad for the side of Aachen. They're going to be able to take out at least Funnick, it seems. In fact, LeBron almost going down as well. Funnick loses his life. LeBron survives thanks to the false promise, but mid one will be able to go in and take out Ignar. In fact, that was Yapso on the Earthshaker. The Rax is falling down rather quickly here for the side of Aachen. They get a buyback out onto Ignar. Epicenter as well, being finished on DM on the Venom, but the Poison Nova hasn't been doing that much this game anyway. He'll jump in and use it straight off the bat. V-Tune is in the middle of all this with his BKB going after Zion, but he'll just Cold Embrace, and V-Tune may lose his Reincarnate life. In fact, no, it's going to be DM. He does force stuff back into the fountain. And it looks like that Poison Nova is going to be enough so that Secret do back off to safety, because they are ticking very, very low here. Mid one actually being forced to eat the cheese as well, just to be able to survive. While Puppy down at the bot lane, trying to find another range Rax for his team. It looks like they will group up and perhaps just go for another mid-tier 3 push.
I don't see them backing off, and why would you? You still have the Aegis on Nisha, and he can push quite fast once again.
We'll get started. LeBron will go for the Brewmaster split. Who's he aim for though? Currently nobody mid one. He'll just BKB up, and Vichu's in trouble. Fisher will connect from Yapsor as well. It looks like Zion was the target, though they did get the Reincarnate life, and LeBron loses all of the spirits from the Brewmaster split. Now you've only got 3 versus 5. No secondary life on the Wraith King. Can you ask, how do you defend this? Winter's Curse will be there. Now Wukong's command as well from mid one. Going straight after the Wraith King, though Echo Slash was with the bid. Mid one now will be turned on here by V-Tune. So he's going to stand his ground and try and man-find this. In fact, it's a close call, but the Cold Embrace will save the day. They're still going for more DM. He loses his life to Nisha on that Arc Warden, and now the tier 4 towers are going to be the target. I believe this is pretty much GG, John. Mega Creeps are there as well. Only 2 heroes to defend Secret from pushing in that Ancient. I don't see them being able to make a comeback now.
Yeah, they're going to try though.
He's going to jump in by himself. Yapsor has the Fisher. Look at the damage from Nisha though. Reincarnate life is gone. Nisha just TPing onto his own creep right in front of him. Just has the time to do so. And they will find the secondary life as well. Secret pulling off this game up against Arkham City. Yapsor going for even more underneath the mountain. Can they at least take him down? No, they cannot. The Lotus Orb will allow him to from that swamp. Team Secret, I mean, they were the favorites going into this. It was a very hard matchup for Arkham City. Of course, luckily for them, John, matchup I feature them again, although this time around, rather than Secret, they will be versing Alliance.
Yeah, so it's going to be an interesting match to watch. Definitely a bit closer in terms of skill as well, so I'm
33 is just doing such a good job jumping Chessie every single fight. They just know, hey, we're not gonna kill this Lincoln's Aegis Ember Spirit, so let's just ignore him and kill the one who's really important, Chessie.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case. So Ace over here has the Mansell as well as the Battle Fury and even the Scuddy completed. I feel like it's been a while since I've checked his items because he hasn't been involved in any of these fights. So what do you go for next on the AM? Do you bother building a BKB for yourself because of all this disable?
I feel like it would be the safe option, but at the same time you can build something like a butterfly and still be completely fine. It's also worth noting that he did get the tier 3 on the instant. So
oh, Butter, they caught him out in the trees. He popped his BKB. He is going to be able to walk away for a little while, but this BKB is fading now. Are they going to be able to find him in the trees? They have a bunch of quelling blades. Hanskin, I don't think he's going to be able to find him once again. But forcing out the BKB of Butter, and he's not able to use it in a team fight. But just as we talked about Ace continuing his split push, he's here on the bottom lane.
I feel like TFT is getting a bit desperate with these pushes. They're like, we need to do something soon because this Ace anti-mage is getting out of control here. But at the same time, it doesn't look like they can really breach high ground without some kind of pickle.
Yeah, the boots of the travel on the Ember Spirit definitely paying off though, because firstly, he's been able to keep up fairly well in the farm, and secondly, whenever Ace does try to split push, he can just be right back, having those 2 TPs back as well as his remnants.
I feel like Frost just needs a bit more damage. Like, he's kind of hard to kill right now, he can split push, but in these fights he doesn't really kill the coils. Maybe he can kill PPD or Saxa on a good day, but at the same time, all these BKB coils on NIP don't really care that much about the Mjolnir Ember.
Yeah, so as NIP, we see them grouped up together. I feel like it's been a while since I've had a look at their items. Stuxer has completed that Blink Dag and Ether Lens, so he can initiate with that Shackles from almost halfway across the map.
And 33 has a Shivas as well. On top of this BKB, he is one tight hero to take down.
Oh. Do you feel that Ace should ever come to the fight? Or do you, as I say that over here, BKB's bot, they have the death wall down. It's onto Lojo once again, he's affected by the Magic, and they've lost him once again. They're looking for the balance strike. It cancels the TP away from the Ember Spirit. He doesn't have a defensive remnant, but he does have the Searing Chain. But Ace, he's leaping forward. There's no mana left over from Stuxer. He breaks the Lincoln Sphere with the Hex, and this is going to be an easy kill for Ace, even getting the cleave off the way. Zibe, the Mana Boy plus the dude. There's not going to be a TP. It's one kill after another, following them through the cheese. NIP striping back and now have an AK advantage, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're gonna have racks soon.
They just keep finding Chessie every single time, and his team is never close enough to try and save him, so he just gets completely chain stunned on top of the Navatek and he just goes down. Era?
Oh, over here, Era is he gonna go down? Yes, that's a solo kill for Butter. Hansking, he's the only one alive for his team, but the creeps, they're already in the base. And Ace, he's just focusing on another tier 3 because with the Serpent Ward. And all the meanwhile, they pop their Glyph, but they're gonna lose 2 lanes of racks. The mid lane, it was already pushed in by Ace's ratting, so they lost that tier 3, and with the help of 2 catapults, they're gonna take 2 lanes of racks.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure what to do here. This Longduit just hasn't been having any impact in these fights because he keeps getting caught. And as soon as Longduit is dead, there is kind of not enough damage left against all of these BKBs.
Yeah, it feels like to me that they've just taken a bunch of banned engagements in this area in the top lane. And that's really where their whole lead has been fed away. Oh, they're going for something more, but the BKB popped by 80 did go for it. Zibe tried to get something, but then BKB over through D. But on the back lines, once again, they have banned Tessie. They're finding this man every time in the fight. The low crew, they have more than enough damage for him. And now Zibe, your BKB is born off. They have him done from the cost. And even the Mana Boys, they have the Shackles onto Frost, but the Yules onto the Shaman to allow Frost to be able to walk back up to his high ground. But now you're 3 against 5 once again, and this top lane is coming in. NIP, they're looking towards this last tier 2 and maybe even Megas.
There are no buybacks for TFT right now. Looks like NIP wants to go for the Roche, but it's not gonna be quite up yet, which is a good sign for TFT because it just gives them a few more minutes to prepare for this inevitable high ground push from NIP.
Yeah, Ace, with this BKB, they have nothing to hold him in place. And they didn't have, and they just don't have enough raw physical damage, especially when they're focusing the lone druid. Oh. And you know what? He was behind the lone druid most of the game, and now he's 7k ahead. Using the spike carapace just be annoying. I don't think there's any follow-up here. They do have the control, but he is able to get out. It looks like they were just going for the harass.
Like Roche gonna be spawning fairly soon, but still.
Yeah, they're scouting it out. They're scouting it out with this courier. NIP just holding this spot. This is, I feel this is where people talk about EG and Fly holding onto this area, but all the good teams do it when they have an advantage. You know, that it's just you. Final Tribe, they literally can't leave their base, and you're between them and Roche. You're going to be able to take it before they get there.
Yep, for sure. We spoke.
Oh, Butter! They do see him in the trees with that slice of fist, but the split earth, it picks the wrong tree. So Fata going forward, and he's going on top. They use the spike carapace, but nothing. 3-3, he goes in onto the bear, not found his main target. Looks like they're focusing the bear, but they have put BKB. Bucks is able to get away, but they use the Doom over on the Dark Willow. But the Server Ward, is he going to be able to kill Brock? But over here on the back line, they probably ultimate the Death Ward. And Zibe pops his BKB for 8, looking for the even bigger kill of the lone druid. Frost, he has managed to survive, but the Wukong's come on. They do have the master, they have the vision down with the BKB. It doesn't matter about the spike carapace, and they're finding one more. Zibe, he came back to the fight, but it doesn't really matter. Gonna drop that Malagate, and they do call GG on the final track. They realize they can't win the fights, they're behind in the structures, and they managed to do it. NIP, they were behind. It felt like I was gonna be able to do it, but NIP with a few decisive fights, able to bring the game home.
Super well played by NIP.